at some point,
Right.
shit is gonna hit the fan. I was on the chain gang.
Yeah.
Where they actually have chains on your feet and stuff like that. So I always knew that I was better than this place, that my mother had raised me better to be a part of what's going on here.
Right.
And I was determined that I wouldn't make it my legacy. But we were on the chain gang and we were all talking. And I had got to be about maybe 18, 17 at that time. And I said, man, I'm gonna be a counselor when I get out of here. We were all sitting around a tree. If you can imagine the movie Life with Martin and them, how all of them on lunch breaks sitting up under a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm gonna be a counselor when I get out of here. And the guy said, man, you got to be crazy as hell. He said, with all them damn felonies you got,
Right.
he said, ain't no way in the hell. So we were talking back and forth. So that's when the guy up on the horse with the cowboy hat on and the sunshades with the rifle in his hand, he said, oh, Muldrow, you ain't shit and you ain't never gonna be shit. Y'all stop all that jaw-japping. It's time to get back to work. So, bam. I never forget how he said it. Nobody had never said anything like that to me before.
Right.
And it just like stabbed me. At first I was like rage, anger, you know? And I thought about it and it's just never left my mind. So I got out of prison. But I went in there without a GED or a high school diploma. While I was there, I learned how to shoot dice, how to cheat in dice. I learned how to cheat in poker. I learned how to cheat in this, and I learned how to cheat in that.
Right.
Learned how to play 3-card Molly and all that other stuff. But I did absolutely nothing to further my education. I was just as dumb educationally as I was when I went in there.
Right.
Make a long story short, I got out when I was 17 and there was no parade down my street, down the main street. That once I got out, a lot of convicts had this grandiose idea that once they do get out of prison, that the world's going to be out there clapping and cheering, and there's going to be, you know what I mean, just a big uproar because you're home.
Right, a fanfare for you.
But you'll learn that, shit, you're going to find people that didn't even know that you were gone. They hadn't even realized that you were gone.
Right.
You know? There was no fanfare. And I didn't have a GED or a high school diploma, but I wanted a job. But what I did do, I always wanted to change my life and get away from the DC area. So I went down to the Army recruiting place. And I went in there and tried to join the military. And in short order, back then, if you didn't have a GED, high school diploma, because it was right after the Vietnam War.
Right.
They were drafting you before the Vietnam War, whatever you had. But I didn't have a GED, plus I'm an ex-felon, and they told me, I'm sorry, the military won't be able to use you.
Right.
That was a blow. So now I'm like, man. So I tried to get a job this place, and I tried to get a job that place. And doors were slamming in my face. They was like almost laughing at me. Yeah, job, right? You just got home abduction, home invasion, robbery, yeah, whatever. So I began to get discouraged. And within 2 months of me being out, after having spent that 3 years,
right.
I robbed a bank. I started robbing banks. So that went on for a while. And about 7 months later, I had them found a job. Amazingly, I found a job. I should have been more patient. I learned patience from that, as a
Right.
matter of fact, because about a month or so after I robbed a couple banks, I get a call at the silk screen printing company, and they said that they had my application. They wanted me to come in for an interview, and I went in for the interview, and they hired me. So I'm working at the silk screen printing company, but I already know at some point,
You're just waiting.
right, shit is gonna hit the fan. Because I had already been noticing things happening that wasn't right. I'm start seeing cars in my neighborhood, you know, with white people in them. Ain't no white people in my neighborhood.
They stick out like a sore thumb. Is that what you're saying?
Right. And then one of the guys at the corner store, older man, I went in there one day. He said, man, I don't know what you done did. He said, but it's been some folks up in here at FBI. They want to know what denomination of bills you spending up in here and this and that. He said, I don't know what you did, but you better be careful. So, I knew that time was it's just going to be a matter of time.
Right.
So one day I was at work on the silk screen, taking the T-shirts off the printer and sending them through the dryer, and I heard a sound, some men sound behind me that I hadn't heard in this company. And I turned around, they had the badge in my face. Spencer Muldrow, FBI, you're under arrest for bank robbery. And at the same time, way across town, they were arresting my brother as well at his workplace. And they had the Channel 7 Action News at his location.
Wow.
They got this Channel 7 Action News at my location. So it makes 5 o'clock news. Two brothers showing our face, coming out in the handcuffs and whatnot. So that time, they sent me to federal penitentiary.